Welcome back everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss the HTML tables. If you want to create a table inside your HTML document, then you have to use the table element inside your HTML document. After creating a table, to create a row, you have to use the tr tag inside the table element. Tr which represents the table row, and to create the table data, you have to use the td tag, which is the table data tag, to create a cell inside your table row. So now let me move back into Visual Studio Code. Suppose I want to create a table inside the body of our HTML document. First, let me move it into center. To create a table, use the table tag. And now you want to create a row inside your HTML table. To create a row, first let me comment this. Creating table row. To create the table row, you have to use the tr tag. Now one row has been created inside your HTML table. But now to add the data inside your table row, you have to use the td tag, okay, which actually create a cell inside your table row. td data, td, okay. Let me add something into it. Value. So if I open this index.html document into our web browser, you can see that a sample value has been shown into our web browser because no other value has been added, so that there is no other value. Now, if I add another table data and or create another value, that would be sample value. Let me say it 2, and this would be 1. Now, if I refresh it, another value has been created. Similarly, we can create another row by using the tr tag. And inside tr tag, I'm going to use 2td. This is sample value row 2 cell 1. And this is sample value of row 1 cell 1, row 1 cell 2. And now I'm going to create another table data. This would be sample value row 2 cell 2. Now if I go back into our browser and refresh it, you can see that two row has been created with two column inside each row. Now, as we cannot differentiate the different cells inside our table, to differentiate the cells, we have to use the border. To create the border with the table, you have to use the border and then specify the width for border. Let me say 2. Now, as you can see that a border has been created along with our table. Let me create a header over here, h3 HTML borders. More like it. Okay, in this way you can add border and simple table into your HTML document. But the proper way to use the HTML table inside your HTML document is to use the table head and table body tag inside your table element. So I'm going to remove all of this. Now, first thing you need to create is the table body. Okay, and after that we will be creating table body. To create the table head, you have to use the table head element, and to create the table body, you have to use the table body element. Inside the table head, you can specify the headings for your table rows, and inside the table body, you can have data according to those headings that you have stored inside your table head. So let me show you this by an example. So if you want to add the head, suppose I want to add the information of students. So I will be creating a row first by using tr tag. Then I will be adding table head by using the th tag, in which I will be saying name, and then another th, which be table heading, and this would be email. And then I'm going to use another th for city. Now, if I go back into our browser and refresh it, you can see that only a heading has been displayed into our table, but nothing else has been displayed. This is because we have not added anything into our table body. So to add things into table body, first create a row and then add the table data. First thing is name. So let me say Sani, and email would be sani@email.com. Suppose this should be inside a td tag as well. So let me create that. And after that, TD, this would be Dubai. Now, if I refresh it, you can see that the data according to the table headings has been displayed into the different cells of our table. Let me add another table row, and I'm going to use same data inside that as well. Just copy and paste. Here, create another row. If I refresh it, all the information has been displayed into our table. This is how you can add data with the help of table head and table body. Next thing is cell padding and spacing attribute of the table. If you see into our table, there is no spacing between the cells, and at the same time, there is no padding between the content of the cell as well. To have that, you have to add the cell padding and cell spacing attribute inside your table element. Cell spacing attribute defines the spaces between the table cells, while cell padding represent the distance between the cell borders and the content within a cell. So let me explain it with the help of an example. If we go into our table opening tab and add a cell padding, and here if I add the value 5, now if I refresh it, you can see that the padding has been created between the cells and their border. But now if you want to create the spaces between these two borders of two different cells, then you have to use cell spacing. Okay, let me choose 3. And you can see that a spacing has been created between the borders of different cells. If I change it to 10, you would see that the spacing between the cell borders has been increased by the number 10. This is how you can add spacing between different cells of your HTML table. Now let's talk about one of the most important concepts in tables, that is colspan and rowspan attributes. Basically, colspan attribute used to merge two or more columns into single column, whereas a rowspan is used to merge two or more rows. What does it mean by merging a column? If you see that these are the columns, one column is of name and other column is of city and the middle column is of email. If you want to merge these two columns with the same name, which is Sani, then you would use the call span. And if you want to merge two rows, one is the name row, this row, and other one is this row and this row. If you want to merge these two rows and display as a single row, then you will choose the row span. So let me explain this with an example. I have created a table head, then 3 table headings by using th tag, and inside table body. First I have created this row in which I have used the row span of 2, which means that this table data will be displayed on 2 rows. Okay, and you can see from the example that Faru Ehsan is being displayed on 2 rows, one and other one is this one of Mashhoor Hasan, and the Farooq Hasan has been represented on the 2 rows under the same column. And when you look at the third row, here I have used call span 3, which means that this whole cell will take 3 column to represent single value, which is Superior University. So I'm going to explain this with the help of Visual Studio Code. Let me remove this first. Okay, in the first, I'm going to create a row, and inside the row, I'm going to use a table data with the row span of 2. Okay, and this would be Sani. With the email, add the email. I'm going to use TD, and here I would be saying isani@yahoo.com. And the third data I'm going to add is the city, which is Post Dubai. And now if I add another row, but in this row, I can only use 2 cells, because if I try to use the 3 cells, then our first row will distort the orientation of our table. Okay, so if I use the TD and here I put Steve, and at the same time in the TD, I'm going to use steve@yahoo.com. And now I want to show the address into 3 columns. Okay, so let me use another tr in it, and to show the address in 3 columns, I have to use td with call span of 3. And here I would be saying Dubai UAE. Now if I get back into our browser and refresh this, you can see that Sani is being displayed on 2 rows, 1 and 2. On the other side, this address has been displayed on the 3 column. This is how you can use the concept of colspan and rowspan inside your HTML tables. In the next thing, you can set the background color and border color of your HTML tables by using the border attribute and bg color attribute inside your opening tag of table element. Suppose if I go over here and here I can add border color and let me set this to red, and this should be border. If I refresh it, you can see that the border color of our HTML table has been changed. But if you want to set the background color for this table, you can use bg color like this inside your opening tag of table element. And let me choose the yellow here. If I refresh it, you can see that the table background has been changed. Similarly, you can change the background of a particular cell as well, or particular row as well. First, let me change the row background color. I want to change the background of this table head, bg color. Let me use green over here. And for if you want to change the color of particular cell, bg color. And here, I will be using blue. Now, if I refresh it, you can see that the a row color and a particular cell color has been changed as well. If you want to set the image as a table background, then you can use the image as a background as well. Okay, to set the image as a background, you have to use the background attribute inside the table opening tag of table element. I have already stored this background image inside our HTML table folder. To use it, you go into your first, let me change this and set this to background. Now you have to specify the URL of that is pg jpeg. Now if I refresh it, you can see that image has been displayed as a background of our HTML table. Now if you want to set the height and width for your HTML table, you can set that by using the width and height attribute as well. So I would be saying width would be equal to 300 and height 300 as well. Now if I refresh it, you can see that the height and width has been changed accordingly. Now, to set the table caption of your particular table, you can use the caption element inside your table element. Just go to your table element, and before the table heading and table body, in the start, you can use caption. Okay, and you can put the caption over here. Sample HTML tables. I'm saying this is HTML borders, but let me change this to HTML tables as well. Control save. Just refresh it and caption will be appear over here. If you want to display your table on the whole screen, then I recommend you guys to use the width as 100%. Let me change this to 70%. See the effect it will generate on our HTML table. It has been displayed on the 70% width of our HTML page. So this was the basic introduction to HTML tables, rowspan, colspan, cell spacing, cell paddings, table head, table body, table rows, and table data. If you find any curious question related to tables, you can ask that into comment box. So see you guys in the coming videos.